What's up, guys? We're going to go over patch 8, the latest title update for Evolve. This is the one that brings pretty much the last character that we know is coming, which is Kayla. So she's going to be in the game. I haven't played enough with her to have really formed an opinion yet. I've really only played a couple of bot games just to kind of take a look at her abilities. Yeah, I don't want to say a whole lot because I don't know how she's going to be. She is an aggressive support, but she brings a lot of tools. I mean, teleportation isn't something that you can really take lightly, so I don't know exactly where she's going to fall into place with the other supports, but she is probably going to be considered an aggressive support since she doesn't really have a direct way of saving her allies, doesn't have a shield, anything like that. So I'll get some games in with her, but I'll probably continue to upload the couple games that I have left of the series that I was playing um, against that one team with, because it's kind of like a storyline. We played like 5 or 6 games together, so I have like 2 or 3 more left to upload. So I'm gonna do those, and then we'll probably get into some Kayla games and other stuff like that. But I'm gonna upload this, and then another video today as well that'll be containing one of those games, just to get these patch notes out, because people want to know what's going on in the game. So I'd rather get these out as soon as possible. I don't actually know how long these have been up. I've been pretty busy doing other things, but I'm going to go over just the balance updates. Let's go to the balance stuff. There's a bunch of bug fixes in here. I would specifically look at Gorgon to see, and it doesn't look like there's anything in here that says that they fixed the wall pounce bug that Gorgon was having. I'm hoping that they did, but I don't know. That would be kind of scary if they didn't do that. But yeah, there's a bunch of stuff in here. If you're interested in specific bug changes, I would take a look at it yourself. It's going to take way too long to go through all of that. I'm interested in the balance updates, so let's go over that stuff. Alright, so updated the difficulty ratings on many characters based on community feedback. It doesn't really affect me all that much, but I suppose for new players it'll be a little bit easier to figure out which characters you might want to pick up to learn the game with. So some changes to Markov. Arc Mines looks like buff to Arc Mines. Damage increased to 675 instead of 600. Lightning Gun range increased to 25 meters instead of 22.5. This is actually a decently sizable change, I would say. It kind of used to be where you would almost always want to take Blitz Markov over Markov, because as long as you were getting like the second proc on your lightning gun, you're going to be dealing more damage or equal damage. But this might bring him back into a role that he can actually be played as. I think there was another change, yeah, in Blitz Markov down here that I'll get into as well, that makes it why you would want to pick Markov a little bit more also, because one of the main reasons was I'll talk about it now because I'm talking about it at the moment, but the Tesla mines now have a larger, or now have an increased glow, so they're easier to see. One of the main reasons you would pick Blitz Markov is because on the desert maps, it was really hard to see the golden glow around the mines, and monsters would accidentally step in them, so it's going to be a lot easier to see them now. Another reason why you might want to go back to picking Blitz Markov a little bit, or regular Markov a little bit more. Lennox looks like we got a little bit of a nerf with him, which I'm actually a little bit surprised at, but a lot of people were doing a lot of damage with Lennox. I was just not very good with her, so that's why she didn't feel all that great to me. It takes a lot of practice to learn the exact range of Plasma Lance so you don't reset it, because resets can be kind of devastating. And likewise, if you don't reset at level 4 damage, you're going to be dealing a ton. So level 1 damage reduced to 90 was 100, level 2 to 180 was 200, level 3 270 was 300, and level 4 360 was 400. So they basically just took 10 points off of each level, equaling 40 if you're getting all of the stacks, which will be pretty noticeable after a couple of stacks, and throughout the entire game. Obviously, you're the main damage dealer. So this is one that I'm actually most interested in. Crow, his stasis gun rapid and charged shot projectile speed increased to 250 meters instead of 80. I think it's going to be a lot easier to actually slow the monster now. It used to be that you'd have to lead them a bit, but that's a pretty sizable increase. That's over 3 times as fast as it was previously. So Gobi's already really awesome, and Crow himself was, I felt, a little lackluster besides Gobi. Like, Gobi was amazing, and then everything else that Crow did was, you didn't really need to power up shots to go through armor most of the time. The only time that was really necessary is when when the monster was really, really low on hit points and you want to just finish the game that way. He was basically running away, getting armor, coming back, running away, getting armor, coming back. You could slowly chip at him that way, but most of the time when you're in a dome, the monster's going to lose all of his armor, so it's better off to just not even worry about charging up that shot. And it was pretty difficult to hit with stasis, so this change might make me want to play Crow a bit more, especially with the next one, which is Jack nerfs. Because Jack used to be my main trapper. I think I'm going to pick up Crow and see how he is when I play a little bit more Hunter. So Survey Satellite damage was reduced by 175, which is pretty sizable, down to 500 instead of 675. And the dual pistols, I actually thought their damage was a little on the low side as it was compared to Trappers, but damage was only reduced by 2, which is 34 instead of 36. Kyra's Heal Burst, I think Kyra's going to come back into one of the main medic roles with this. She was already kind of on par with Val, and I think this will put her at least even, if not slightly ahead of Val. She's still a really good medic. Val's just been the flavor of the month. So the cooldown was reduced only by 2 seconds, but when you're talking about it, it's basically 10%, which is pretty sizable. Slim, he might come back, but I don't know. I'd have to see how big of a difference this fire rate increase is. I still think without having a solid like defensive type medic, you're going to have some trouble as Slim. Like when you're being focused as Slim, you can't really turn around and start shooting the monster, or you're just going to take more damage, and that's how he basically heals himself. So I think that's the main issue with Slim is that when Slim isn't firing at the monster, his healing is just absolutely dreadful. But it's basically changed to a fully automatic weapon. There was a bit of a nerf, but they basically said that because it's fully automatic, you're going to be shooting faster. I don't know if this is going to be the case as much on PC as it will be on the consoles. It's a lot harder to click buttons rapidly, I would say, on the console than it would be with a mouse where you click really, really quickly anyway. So I'm not sure what this is going to do for the PC. I don't think Slim is going to come back really strong, but some people might pick him up to just try him out now that he got a change. Super surprised at Emmett nerfs. I have not really been a big fan of Emmett. I like the character and the personality behind Emmett, and like I think he's really cool, but I thought that his damage is really all that he had. He had really good damage, but I thought his healing was pretty terrible. So I would have liked to see a little bit of a healing buff on this if they were going to reduce his damage, just to even him out across the field. So his tracker shot damage reduced by, well, it was reduced to 45, it was 65. That's the biggest change. Basically, people were just spamming the tracker shot because it was higher damage. The homing shot was reduced only a few points, and they're basically matching now. So it's going to be more important to land your homing shots to keep that damage up. It's not a huge change, but it is going to be noticeable, I would say. Alright, Sunny. So this is probably the biggest change and the one that I've been looking forward to the most. Is Sunny has been super annoying for the longest time. It's been, you know, Sunny and Hank at the very top. Hopefully we see some more diversity with Kayla coming out. Obviously people are going to want to try her out. Hopefully she doesn't just get set on the back burner. But jetpack booster capacity reduced to 70, it was 100. Jetpack boost value reduced to 40%, it was 50%. That's the extra boost that they basically get, I believe, when they first do a jetpack boost, or it might be how efficient it is when you're using the jetpack. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but I know it's a nerf. Mini nuke grenade launcher reduced by 10 points to 165. Shield drone, the health was reduced again to 250. It was 300. I think this is probably going to be one of the bigger changes for me personally, because I tend to focus Sunny anyway. So the jetpack booster doesn't really help other than the chase game. The chase game was really strong with Sunny. You get a good Sunny player and a good trapper, and you're going to get domed constantly. But the way that I play the game, domes are usually not on cooldown when I evolve and stuff. So unless I get a really coordinated team, usually I was able to hold my own against a good chase comp. Usually. Sometimes I would have a little bit of trouble. But the shield drone, I always would spend too long killing it, and then by the time that it was down, Sunny was already placing another one and was far enough away from me that she was able to like get healed back up or something like that. It's just Sunny was really slippery whenever I would go after the shield drones. So hopefully this will help a little bit. It is a pretty sizable nerf, 250 down from 300. Talked about the Blitz Markov stuff already, so his mines are going to be easier to see on the map when they're powering up to that gold stage. So it's going to be easier to see on desert maps. Monsters. Goliath, or Meteor Goliath's burn duration, so this is on all of his abilities, was increased to 6 seconds instead of 5 seconds. That's going to be pretty big on his DPS. I didn't think Meteor Goliath was that bad to begin with. I might actually, since I've been wanting to play other monsters more, I might do Meteor Goliath games instead of Goliath games, just to try him out and see how strong he is now. Because I think that's going to be a decent sized change. Because that damage does add up when you're hitting people with multiple abilities. Alright, Gorgon, this is probably the one that's going to affect me the most. So it looks like she got a nerf all around. I guess not on Mimic, but the nerf to, basically the nerf to the way that I play currently. It's not a huge nerf. I didn't really rely on Spider Trap to damage to get down penalties, hardly ever. It's more the time spent inside of the Spider Trap. Allows you to do other things because there's one person not in the fight. So they reduced the DPS on Spider Trap down from a decent amount. It looks like about 20, 22-ish for each one. And then Acid Spit, they only reduced the duration, so it still does the same amount of damage, but it stays on the ground a little bit less long. You're looking at 1.8 seconds at level 3. That's not the biggest deal in the world. I'm hoping that at level 1 at 3.8 seconds you can still throw it on a mammoth bird and it will die without you doing anything else, because the mammoth bird kind of, whenever it takes damage, it flares up and, like, I don't know, goes into like the pissed off state or whatever, and then starts running after you. So if you put acid under it and then bring your mouse down towards you as the mammoth bird is running towards you, it'll die automatically. And I'm wondering if this will still happen, or if you'll have to take a specific perk to make that happen, or auto attack it or something like that. Because that actually will add up to the amount of time it takes for you to just feed in general. So that's one thing that I'd want to test, because that's 1 second. It probably won't kill it anymore, if I had to guess. You'll probably have to do something else. Web does the same thing, and you should still be able to use that. So I'll probably have to just rely on that more than other things, which will take a little bit more finesse. You'll have to line up mammoth birds so you can hit multiple ones with a web and stuff like that. So Mimic, there was another change to Mimic. I will be trying it again when I play some more games. I think what this means is that whenever Gorgon herself is taking damage over the actual Mimic, it takes longer to break it. So it's up at level 3, because I'm probably not going to use it at the other levels. At level 3, it's 320 more health, which is a pretty sizable amount. So I will definitely be trying another Mimic build at some point. I'll give it at least a couple of games like I did before and see how it works. If I feel like it's working better, I'll probably incorporate it into my main build, because everything else got nerfed a little bit. If I don't think it's all that useful, I'll continue to stick with what I've got and just focus more on wall pounces. That's what I wanted to do anyway. I'm hoping that somewhere in here I'm just missing the fix to the pounce glitch, because that's game ending anytime it happens. So if people don't know what I'm talking about, it's when Gorgon sticks to a wall and you pounce off of it randomly. I don't know what triggers it, but sometimes you get stuck in an infinite pounce state, but you're not dealing any damage and you can't let the hunter go. So all 3 other hunters just kind of fire into you until you die, and you can't do anything about it. It's pretty frustrating when it happens. And then defend changes. Turret health reduced to 800, was 1100, and turret damage reduced to 10 was 20. I don't ever really play anything but hunt, because I like hunt the most. So that's it. Not a whole lot of balance changes. I know they're working on something big, that there's going to be a big rebalance coming at some point. I don't know when, but I've heard a little bit of talk about it. That's pretty much all I have about that, though. There's not really that much information, other than they're trying to make it so that monsters can't flee till 3 anymore. But that's it. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.